Hello, this is Joanne Hewins, and I can't decide if I'm where I need to be or not, but I appear to be. I did not announce ahead of time that I was going to do a live, but here it is for whatever it is. I have a lot of stuff that's been sitting here on my table since Monday. So that's almost a week. Since this past Monday, I had everything set out for my live. My live was supposed to be on Wednesday, and it just didn't happen. It seems that on Monday evening, well, let me start. I had written my newsletter that comes out every Tuesday. I had it all written. I usually schedule it to go out at 6 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesdays, and I didn't do that because the Stampin' Up! Had two announcements coming out. One was about a new joining incentive, and another was about a sale coming up, and I didn't know the details, so I was going to wake up early and put all those things in my newsletter and send that out on Tuesday morning. But on Tuesday night, I had a stroke. Tuesday evening, I was just sitting in a chair and kind of slid out of the chair. I couldn't get up, and my husband came up and called 911, and off I went to the hospital. Luckily, everything worked just as it should have, and I received the medicine in time that I was supposed to have, the TPA crunch or something like that, and so here it is after my stroke, and I'm okay. Everything's about like I was before. Every now and then something comes out of my mouth that I didn't mean to come out, but they say that will improve. I don't know if anyone can hear me or not, so if you can, if anybody's listening, if you would just tell me that you're listening, I would appreciate it. So maybe I had the sound turned down, I don't know. But anyway, today we're going to make a couple cards, and also wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that have been happening with me. So I really don't know if I'm just talking to air or not. But the cards that I had planned for us to do last week, in fact, they're already up on my blog because I had written it up and scheduled it to go on. And where I say, here's the video, there is no video because I never got to do it. So anyway, these are the cards that we're going to make. We're going to start with this one, and I'll get started with that. We're using the stamp set Snowflake Wishes for this card, and this is in the annual catalog. It was carried over from last year. So let me bring out our stamps. So we'll be using these stamps. We'll be using the saying that comes from the same stamp set. And let me pull out what we have here. Okay. So, oh, Sandy, you can hear me then. Good, good. So I'm going to show how to make these two cards that I had planned to do last week. And then I may just talk to you a little bit as I do that, because I think I have a few things I would like to say. If you have a stroke, it makes you start thinking a little bit about your life. And you probably don't want to hear that kind of thinking, but anyway, here, it's going to come. I've kind of thought over and over again about how would I say this, how would I do it. I guess the answer is you just say it. So we're going to be using 3 colors of blue for this. We're going to be using Night of Navy, Pool Party, and Misty Moonlight. And I have Sponge Doll blending brushes. That's what they're called, blending brushes to use with each of those colors. So what I did is I labeled my brushes. I think I'm going to attempt to eventually have a brush for every color because I sure like blending. And so there we go. So we're going to start and blend in part of this mask. Now we made the mask using the seasonal labels dies. I used this large one right here and just ran it through my machine with a piece of copy paper. So that's how I did that. And then my plans had been to go out and get some sticky notes, and I didn't get to go out shopping. So we're just going to use some tape. My typing paper is cut larger than my cardstock for the card, so that'll help it to work with that. So I'm going to start with the darkest number color, which would be the Night of Navy. Okay, thank you, Sandy. I hope you're doing okay after your surgery as well. I've had you in my thoughts, although I hadn't gotten a card sent to you yet. So, well, hey, Tina, I'm so glad you're here too. And Debbie, thank you so very much. So as I start with this, I'm going to just kind of tap off some of the extra color and then kind of come in from the corner and then just add onto the corner or onto that. I'll do the Night of Navy as dark as I want to get it, and then I will add in, starting with the next darkest color, which is Misty Moonlight, and then I'll finish up with the Pool Party color. And the idea is to get all of this blended in to each other on this. But here goes a little bit of the story. Over the past years, I have worked with Stampin' Up, and let me just tell you right now, I love Stampin' Up. I love the products of Stampin' Up. I love the owners of Stampin' Up, the CEO of Stampin' Up. I love it all. And I have worked really hard to make a success of my little Stampin' Up business. In fact, I've gotten to where I work every single day of the week, like 10 hours a day, and that's going to stop. I'm going to continue being a demonstrator for Stampin' Up because I love it so much. I love making cards and I love sharing cards. So that will continue. But the time that I spend is not going to be as much as I have done in the past. So I'm changing over to the Misty Moonlight right now. So I don't know, there's something in my, I guess, personality that just drives me to try to excel in anything that I attempt. And I kept thinking, if I join one more group, if I do one more card that's over the top, then people are going to order from me and they're going to follow me, and my business will be successful. If I put another blog posting, if I post 4 days a week, or if I do 5 days a week, then people will start ordering from me, and I'll be a successful demonstrator. I'll earn the trip and I'll do all that stuff. And those things just did not happen for me. Consistency, they said. Oh, be consistent. Make sure if you do it, say you're going to do it a certain time, you do it then. And that's the way to success. And so what I've decided now is that's not going to happen for me that way. And that's okay. So I have decided that I'm going to change a few things in my life. And one thing that I'm going to start doing is bringing back fun. Have you ever heard that word fun before? Well, I'm going to bring back the fun. Well, I've just lifted up the mask that I had made, and there you can see that I've got, and it's kind of blended pretty well. Maybe I could have put some more of that pool party down in there. But anyway, it's blended pretty well. And so what we're going to do now is stamp our snowflakes. So let me get the Night of Navy, which I know I just used. There it is. So let me get that stamp. So how am I going to bring fun back into everything? I'm not going to have as many classes. I think I'm still going to have one class a month because I have one person who has stood behind me over the years and always comes to class. So I'm going to have classes for her. I'll do that once a month. I'm no longer going to be doing the Neighbors Network class. I'm no longer going to do the Whisk and Barrel class. But what I'm going to do is have stamping at my house every Friday. So I'm going to call it Come Stamp with Joanne on Fridays. So any Friday at 10 a.m., you are invited to come to my house. I want you to let me know that you're coming, though, because I only have room for about 8 people. But let me know that you're coming. And if you're within the 8th, you get to come, and I will have several choices of cards. And you can make a card, and it will be free. You can just come and make a card. Because what I want to do is to get back to why I started doing all of this. There are people who need this. There are people who are sitting at home and they're wishing they had people to be with. They're wishing that they had somewhere to go. They're wishing that they could just make something, even if they don't know how to make it. And I want them to come to my house and stamp with me. So if there's anybody out there that just needs a friend, what I envision is that we will have a group of women who will come to love each other and do things with each other. If we decide to go out for lunch, or if we decide to go on a field trip somewhere one day or whatever, we'll do it. And we will care and love each other. So that's what I'm envisioning. Now, did you see how easy that card was to make? So that's really about all of the story I had that you're going to have to suffer for. That's about all I had to say. I'm going to pull in, well, I thought I was going to pull in the blue. Okay, I don't see them here right now. I know I've had them. Okay, well, in the center of the first card that I made, I had the blue gems in the center of each of these. And for some reason, I picked them up and moved them somewhere else. So we're just going to go on and use these sequins. So this is the soft or subtle shimmer sequins. And we'll just add a little bit of glue, and we'll put one of those in the middle of each of these, and then we'll just add some sequins here and there on our card, wherever we want to put it. Okay, so let me just pick up some stuff here with my Take-A-Pick tool, and we'll just start working on hopefully placing these down. So let me just say that I'm doing fine, and I was very lucky. I have a husband that reacted super quickly and got the EMTs here, and I had medicine that had to be administered within 3 hours of the stroke, and we were able to do that, and that was a miracle medicine, TPA, and I really believe that I'm about where I was before. So anyway, so here's this card, and let me finish this one up, and we will go on to the next card and get that done. And while I'm doing this, my granddaughters are on their way to come and see me, so if they get here, I'm going to cut this off and visit with them. I've really said, I think, about everything that I wanted. So the Come Stamp With Me on Fridays will start this coming Friday. I'll put on my Facebook page where you're watching this, the cards that I have available that you can come and pick one to make. Okay, so there's the first card. Okay. And I have a piece of Misty Moonlight that is cut at 4 7/8 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/8. And we're going to put glue down and put this down. Hi, Tina. Hi, Cindy. Thank you for watching, you guys. I know this is probably a weird mess, but I just wanted to be able to get this off my table. And I just want to get back to normal as quickly as I can. And I'm kind of looking forward to having a fellowship of women. I hope somebody will take me up on this, because there's not a lot of risk if you don't, if it's free, right? There's not a lot of risk, so I hope you'll do it. I know some of you know somebody that I described. You know somebody that needs to get out and go somewhere and do something. And I urge you to tell them about this and try to do it. Okay, the next card we're going to make is this one. So it's going to be done in the same way, just about, except I need a pencil. Do I have a pencil laying here anywhere? Okay, hold on just a moment. All right, so I don't have a pencil laying here, but we'll do it with an ink pen and it'll turn out okay. All right, so let me pull that over. And this is our cardstock that is the same measurement, 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And what I'm going to do is lay this on my grid paper, and we'll fix it so it works. And I'm going to take my ruler. Now, ideally, you would just be using a pencil. And then I'm going to use my grid paper again. And I'll do those lines. Oh, my goodness, that messed up. But we'll see what happens anyway. You know what? We're not doing this one. We will do something different. Okay, we're going to do this card instead. Are you there? Let me see. Yeah, okay. We'll do this card instead. So for this one, I'll talk about how to do the other one later, because I actually forgot to get my sticky notes that I did have. So for this one, I used the layering. Oh, I just found my blue gems there on the floor. I'm going to use the layering circles dies for this. And so I cut out the largest circle, and I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm just going to kind of tape that right there at the side. I just heard a door, so they might be here. And I'm going to use these 3 greens right here. Evening Evergreen, Mossy Meadow, and Old Olive. So we'll just do that the same way. We'll start with the Evening Evergreen. And it's exactly the same as we did the other. We'll just start and slowly add some color to that. This is really one of the easiest things, and in fact, I think these 3 cards will be 3 of the cards that I will have available on Friday that you can come and make a card for free. What do you think about that? Okay, so because I'm not going to let stamping take up so much of my life anymore, I will still have my blog. I will still be a demonstrator, but I'm not going to have specific days that I post on my blog. I'm just going to post on it when I have something to show, and I don't have to put extra stress on myself to get something ready to go. So when you see something, there it will be. And that's probably not a good business tactic, but it's what we're going to do. So let me change to Old Olive. And again, you see I've got my blending brushes labeled. And I'm just going to go back over here and blend that all over everything. Okay. So there we have that. I did tear a little bit of the paper on the back, but it's on the back, so it won't matter. Okay, and so for that, we're going to be using this stamp set, Love of Leaves. And I'll pull out those stamps. These were in the annual catalog as well. It was a carryover from last year. And we're going to be using black. On that other one, I don't think I mentioned that I did the stamping in this in navy, Night of Navy. But on this one, we're going to stamp in black. Let me just move that out of the way. And usually when I'm using my memento pad, I just turn the stamp upside down and stamp from there. So here, and then we'll get one of the other ones and stamp that somewhere. And then we'll get the last one. And you can see these are just easy peasy to do. And then I think I have a saying over here. Yeah, here it is. It just says hello. So we'll stamp that right in there. And that's it. So all we're going to do is just put the lid on here. And then we will add some of these matte decorative dots. We'll add those to the card. Okay, so here's the Take Your Pick tool. So we'll add this and this and this. Okay, and that's really all we're going to do on that. Okay, now we could take a Wink of Stella, but it seems that I don't have one with me. So that would be something that you could color over the leaves in Wink of Stella and make that stand out a little bit. That's an idea that I guess I'm just not going to show you right now. So let me add the layers together. This is the Mossy Meadow is going to be the base of our card. And I think this is Old Olive as the other. So we'll just glue our pieces together. And we'll call it a day. Okay. I'm sorry this was a little bit of a messed up video, but you know, if you know someone else who is a demonstrator and they seem to be just grinding and running in place and never getting anywhere, that's kind of what I was doing. I just have to understand that there are more important things out there in the world, and what I want to be is happy. What I want to do is share stamping with people who like the things that I like. So please remember, Stamp with Joanne Fridays. It's free. It's 10 o'clock. I ask that you let me know that you're coming, and I also ask that you park as far down the driveway as you can to allow room for others. There is a limit of 8. That's how many I can fit nicely. So thanks so much for coming today. These are the 2 cards that we made, and this is the card that we did not make. But what you would do is draw your lines in pencil, lay sticky notes so that they form that line this way and again here. And then the colors that I used for that were Blackberry Bliss, Rich Razzleberry, and Polished Pink. And then I finished it off with some of these in color jewels on there. And the stamp set that I used for that, I have moved into the other room. It is in the January-June mini, and I think it's Beauty of Tomorrow is what that is. So I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. The post is already up for this, and I will have the video up sometime later today after my family leaves and we're through visiting. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.